Hello and welcome. My name is Jackie and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. And today I'm going to be showcasing one of my favourite all-time tools, and that's Take Your Pick tool. So anyway, let me get you down onto the desk and I can show you exactly what is involved. So in the basic Take Your Pick toolkit, you must have one of these before you can use any of your other attachments. Okay, so we have the base barrel, and this is what your different attachments attach to. So you get one of those. You get two putty heads, and they both have lids on. Then you get a double-ended ball tool, a thick and a thinner ball. And then you get a pokey tool and a spatula. So that is your basic kit. So when you first receive your kit, what you need to do is grab your putty attachment, and you need to screw that in, but not to overscrew it, because the more you twist the attachment, the more putty is going to come out and you're going to end up wasting it. So when you tighten this up, just do it gently, okay? And you might think, oh, well, there's no putty coming out. It will eventually come out, and you know, if you sort of keep tightening it, you're going to have loads. So that's my top tip. Don't over tighten your attachment. Okay, so that is one end, and then on this thinner end you can change your tips. So I'm going to put in the ball tool, and again you're just putting it in and then doing a turn. So I'll put that up to one side, and now I'm just going to show you some of the things that you can do with this tool. So I'm going to bring in a card, and the putty tip is my favourite tip, and you can use this on your sequins and as well as your adhesive gems. So using the putty end, you decide which gem you want and you place it on there, and then you slide, and then that will come up with attached to the putty, and then you just put it down wherever you want. So it's slide and pick, slide and pick, and then you've got your gems there. So that is my favourite tip. Okay, with regards to the ball tool, you can use that with your simply scored board, and you just place your card on there and then you score the measurement you wish. Okay, and also you can use it for forming petals to make them slightly curve. So that is for the ball tool, so that's quite standard. Then we have the pokey tool. Now I have seen some people use this to pick their gems up, but as I say, I prefer the putty end, but you may prefer to use your pricking tool. As well as picking your gems up, you can, if you bring your stamping mat, this is quite a good tool to have, and I have it as a piercing mat as well as a stamping mat. So on the piercing mat, you can then get your pokey tool and you can poke like that, and you can make holes. Perfect for your stitching. The other thing I like to use the pokey tool for is putting dimensionals onto back of my card. So here I have a happy birthday sentiment, and then just picking that up with the pokey tool, I can then put that down where I would like it. And then once you've placed your dimensionals onto your card, you can then use the pokey tool again by taking those backings off, and as you can see, I've got all the backings off all in one go. So then that can go on there. You can also use this to remove your mini glue dots as well. So that is the pokey tool. Oh yes, the other thing you can use that for is when you're doing your die cutting, you can push through to get your card out, and then you can then poke your bits of leftover card from your die. So that's another good one for the pokey tool. Then we can turn that over and we have a spatula. So with your spatula side, I didn't think I was going to need this, but actually I have used it quite a bit. So you can either use it again for scooping up and placing your gems onto your project. The other thing, which I think is really good, is if you've glued something down and you find that it is in the wrong place or not quite straight, if you're quick enough, you can place your spatula under your card and you can move that and lift it up and then reapply it. If you find that your glue has already dried, then what you can do is get your heat tool and just blast it over the area for a couple of seconds until that glue has melted enough for you to lift that up, and then you should be able to lift it without ruining your paper or your card underneath. So that is a fantastic top tip. The other thing I like to use my spatula for, if I just grab my paper trimmer, after a while you will find that your cutting track in your paper trimmer, let's just move that down, will get a bit clogged up with any glue or any bits of card, and you need to clean that so that you can cut really nice and crisp cuts. So again, just using your spatula, just run that along your tracking mat, and that will remove all the mess that's in there. So that's a good one. Let's put that down. Then the other thing is you can use it with your paste. So you can go in with your paste and you can get some paste and apply it to your project. So that's another good one. The other one that I like to use with the spatula is if your glue starts to stop coming out, so you know there's glue in there but it's not coming out very well, what you can do is take the stopper off, and take the stopper off a slightly used one, and then you can decant that glue from one to another. The other thing you can do is cut this in half very carefully with a pair of scissors or a craft knife, taking care that it doesn't slip and you get cut. You can then decant it from there as well. So don't throw away your adhesive when you think it's empty, because it's probably not. So that is a really good top tip. And then the final one with the spatula is your chalks or your pastels. So if you wanted to put some chalk onto your silicone mat, and then you can pick it up with a painter, water painter, what you can do is, I'm just going to use some card just to show you, is you just get your pastel and then you just scrape some of that powder down onto your silicone mat, and then you're ready to go. And I think that is it with regards to the spatula. Then Stampin' Up brought out the brush tip. So sort of undoing that putty end. So if I just put that one, what did I do with that? Oh, yeah, sorry, I got the wrong end. Yeah, so if you undo your putty end, so just unscrew that, and then you can screw in your brush tip. You also get a mat. I think you get 2 mats in there. And I'm going to use my pokey tool. So again, just putting this in and doing half a turn. You can then use this to get some of these leftover bits out of your die. Also, before you've taken your card out, if you have your die with, you can get the bits out as well, and that will help remove the card. So that is the brush tip. And then at the end of last year, they introduced this crafters attachment kit. So you get several heads in here. So let's just unscrew this. So for the wider base unit, you get a craft knife. And unlike some craft knives, when you use it, I find that the actual blade bends. This is really nice and doesn't bend at all. So if I get a piece of card, especially on a glass mat, that just cuts beautifully. And again, you've got a guard on that. Then the other thing that you've got on here, you've got another double-ended tool, and we've got a slightly thinner pokey tool. So if I bring this back, oh no, that's the blade. What did I do with that? Oh, here you go. So if I bring this one back, you can see the slight difference in thickness. So this is a thinner one. And then on the other side, you've got a hook. So again, you're using that on your dies and on your die cuts, just getting these extra bits of card that have stuck in there to make your die really beautiful. And then finally, there is a perforation tool. And again, this is used in the thicker barrel attachment. And if I get some card, you can then do some like perforations on there. I don't think that's going to show, but that looks quite a good technique as well. I haven't used this one very much, and you should be able to just then tear that like a ticket. There you go. So that's quite handy as well. So there is all the different attachments. I highly recommend getting especially the basic one with the putty end, because you get several tools in there, and that is brilliant for the beginner. And I think this is one of the tools that you definitely need in your basic toolkit. Anyway, I hope that I have inspired you to get this lovely tool and the attachments, and hopefully, you never know, Stampin' Up might bring out some new ones which will be absolutely brilliant. Anyway, you take care, and I'll craft with you again soon. Bye.